And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday on The Bonfire, last live show of the week. I always get a little sad when we start.
Yeah, but I like you came in cheery.
I did. I am cheery.
It's very nice.
I'm in a good mood. It's Kiss Day. I'm going to go see Kiss, so I'm pretty excited about that.
On their last tour of all time.
So they're saying, but I think age is going to dictate this one.
You think so?
Age is going to dictate this one, everyone. I'm Big J. Oakerson. That sexy-ass voice,
Stop
Dan
it.
Soder.
You keep buttering me up.
Joining us today right out of the gates. This is so fun for me to be able to do some radio with him here. His new album, Live from Portland, is going to be available wherever you buy or stream albums, Friday, April 5th. It's Jim Breuer, everybody.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Look at Jacob. Why'd you clap like you were a wheelchair kid trying to walk for the first time? What happened there? Did you clap so hard you fell out of your chair? That was silly looking. That was downright silly looking, Jacob, what happened there. Jim, welcome to the show, dude.
Good to see you, Jay.
Long time coming, man. I'm glad you're here.
Long time coming.
Yeah, really glad to have you on, man. Big fan, and it's like awesome. Yeah, this is pretty crazy for me.
This is fun. I've been trying to figure this out for a long time.
Yeah.
And I loved Jay and his lovely wife in the minute I met them. I went, oh my God, we saw each other on a cruise boat.
Yeah,
was it
motorboat, I think. Or was the first one shipwrecked, maybe?
Shipwrecked.
Yeah.
The first one was shipwrecked. I'm like, how cool is this couple? This guy's like, this guy is a great chick, and he's funny, and he's into metal. Who are these fucking people? I love these guys.
It was the coolest because Jim was doing one of the most fun things for a comic probably ever could get a chance to do on a cruise ship. Because the least fun thing to do ultimately you'd think is probably the comedy part.
Yeah.
Jim got to do his music, perform with the band on the big stages, which was just I watched with such a shit-eating grin of just like envy and like proud of you, even without knowing you that well. I was just like, I just know he's having fucking fun. Because any chance I could sing, we did Comedy Jam together on Comedy Central.
Yes,
you sang with Halford.
Yes,
and we did that together. And so I love that. I love doing the Comedy Jam whenever I can. So that to have that moment and have a real band you worked it out with and shit looked so fun.
Can I ask a question to put it all in reference? Yeah. Was it on the Pearl? Was it on the
it was, buddy. It was on the Pearl, yeah.
So I know the venues. So now I can map it out in my head of where Jim was playing with the band.
On the main stage? The big
on the
stage.
Theater.
No, not the theater.
No.
The outside deck stage.
That's fucking awesome.
Well, it was a little weird because it was Five-Finger Death Punch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was Five-Finger Death Punch, and I'd never been on a cruise with a metal band.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching from the side, and the first thing I see is, like, okay. And it was, as we're setting out to sea, I went, this is what it must have been like when pirates were going out to pillage and just destroy places.
You were like that first car in Mad Max. You know, with the fire going out? That's what you guys are going out to see. You're like, fucking we ride! Yeah.
But I was on the side, and I'm looking at these hooligans.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of one of their sets. And what's his name? Ian? What's his name? Ivan.
What a cooler fucking...
Great fucking name.
You ratcheted that up.
And he
Ian,
talks like you hope he talks.
Yeah.
Yes. And he goes, I see a little kid over there. And there's a kid in the hot tub.
Yeah.
In the hot tub area, because there's all people. And he goes, bring that child to me. and they lift this child up. And the child crowd surfs to the front. Can't be more than 5-6 years old. Little Latino innocent child. Eyes big, bright, like a fucking Disney show. Right? And she's looking around. And he goes, what's your name? And she goes, I don't know, it's whatever her name is. He goes, do you ever curse?
And she's like, I'm kind of mean now.
And he goes, well, today you're gonna curse. And I just remember this kid, and he goes, are you ready to say this? Burn motherfucker, burn motherfucker, burn motherfucker. And she looks out to a sea of white human beings going, burn motherfucker, burn motherfucker. And the kid was horrified. And that's when I realized, like, what did we get ourselves into?
It's bizarre. It's a bizarre thing. I didn't go
That's
this
like
year.
a scene in an 80s action movie establishing the main antagonist, where he's like, bring that child to me.
Bring the child to me.
What a cool way to say that.
They added a day this year. I was like, I can't do it.
Well, I mean, I did the Impractical Jokers cruise, which is just a bunch of people in rascals, and they're like, I've seen you before. And like, bing, and they just pull away. It's just a lot of upper thigh meat, and you guys are like
smoking and tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm from Wisconsin.
Just white guys that are so tanned and ponytailed they look like they're Native American. You know what I mean, guys? Just wearing just leather vests and they look like man, are you? What's your name? It's gonna be Chief something. And he's like Mark Thomas.
Yeah, I work at an insurance agency in Toledo.
But the crowd there is very interesting. Me and Christine have talked about it a lot when we go. It's interesting because it's metalheads and the white, let's just call it garbage that gets associated with that, as I consider myself part of that. But it's the upper echelon of all that. So it's the guys who own the gas stations. Do you know what I mean? It's the guys who run the lumber company.
Yeah, they own the Harley Davidson store.
Yeah, they own the store. Exactly. It's not the fucking worker bees who are meth addicts and shit. These are just old hippie pothead bikery people.
What if we took the most desperate metalheads, put them on a cruise like this, and that became our new Navy? And that's how we attacked people.
We wouldn't have to attack. We'd just show up.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, we're whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, surrender. There's just white flags everywhere.
To just pull into port and hear
just some guy named Lloyd with no future. He's like, what's up? What the fuck? Yeah.
Five Finger Death Punch was the soundtrack for the day we puked on the beaches of Normandy.
Yeah.
Don't even come off the ship. We'll give you whatever you want.
You guys got big TVs here? It's just shit like that. Fuck yeah! If I find out my fucking wife fucking you, I'll murder you motherfuckers. Yeah!
You better have cheese,
Yeah. Hey, is it cool my dick itches? Am I allowed to come aboard?
I remember that ship too. Before I performed, I pulled my band down into a little room. I said, we're pulling an audible. We're not doing the set. We're going full-blown improv. Just follow me. And they all looked at me like, what? What are we doing? And I remember I started off not make fun of, but I said, Ivan should be the the security guy that goes, here's all the ruse for today's cruise. And then we just winged it. I don't know how I survived that boat. It wasn't scary, but that was the most intense, pulled out my ass set I've ever done in my life.
Sure. It was amazing. It was pure trial by fire for sure.
That is great to watch someone actually trapeze like that and just be like, guys, let's just fucking wing it.
And that's what we did. It was awesome.
You go, what?
It was freaking awesome.
But you were using a band when you were doing your residency out in Huntsville?
It's
the Paramount, right?
Yeah, it's in oh my god,
Hicksville.
No. Huntington,
yes.
New York. I go there once a month. The beginning, I was using them.
My buddy Joey Casada.
Oh yeah, Joey
plays drums. Yeah, he played drums for you a bunch of times.
So I used them up until the first 6 shows, and then, quite frankly, I came to grips with Breuer. You're not a fucking rock star.
When does that?
No one gives a shit.
Did you really have an epiphany?
Where were you? Where do you? That's like a big.
So give it up. No one wants to see you fucking pretend you're AC/DC or Metallica.
That's not true.
That's not true, though.
Just be funny and shut the fuck up.
You can't listen. You can go that direction too, but people absolutely want to hear you do AC/DC. I mean, they're amazing. They're amazing impressions. When you were doing that on the boat, you would do call it out. They do Halford, and you fucking.
It has a place.
Okay,
sure.
I have a bizarre following. My following is stand-up comedy crowd, a rock crowd, a SNL crowd, half-baked. It's one big melting pot.
I'm like all of those. I just hit all the
and they're all like 35, 40 and over with kids and stuff.
No, okay, now I'm out.
Half them don't have. So when I do the metal stuff, 3 chords. I'm like, what is he?
Yeah, they don't have a point of reference on what you're doing. Rob Huford?
Who the fuck is Judas Priest? I don't know who he's talking about. And then, so it's really, so I have to pick and choose. So the boat cruises, the metal cruises work great.
Yeah.
When I tour with Metallica, it was, oh, this is easy. I'm going to look like a genius when I bring up Ozzy and I do Lars and I do all the metal bands that they all know, like, oh, who is this guy? But then they come see me and they're like, why? He's talking about his kids.
Yeah. Those people can't believe it now. He goes, do Halford. And then the kid next to him was like,
I don't know. I was enjoying that view on Modern Marriage. Just like stand-up bits. Here you go. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I like dating is weird. Stop making him do Lars. I don't know who Lars is.
Isn't he a Mets fan?
It's funny that we cross paths. It's funny to cross paths on the metal cruise ship because it's a world like trying to get like as soon as I started doing comedy and anyone liked me at all that worked at a radio station or something like that ever, my first thing was like, how could I parlay this into being backstage or free tickets to concerts?
That's
always
all we care about.
So it's so cool that it went that direction to cross each other's paths there. But also, what I remember very much before I started doing comedy, I think several years before I even thought of doing it, on my mom's TV in her bedroom, I would watch on Philly 57 Uptown Comedy Club.
Wow.
Which is where I saw you and Rob Magnotti were the white guys with Maceo and Monterey Ivy and all these guys on this show. And it was... I mean, you guys started so many bits. I remember the Drunk Cops.
Yeah, Top Cops.
That, with Maceo, you would do. And then it was very cool when I started working the comic strip. When I first got to New York, Maceo was like a regular. I think he's like a cruise ship like guy now.
I think so
ultimately.
too,
But Maceo was a comic who was around, and when I'd see Magnotti and these guys, I'd be like, wow. To me, that registered from Uptown Comedy Club. But I also, starting in Philadelphia, just by where it was and the timing, and it was after the fall, I guess, of several comedy clubs in Philadelphia, and all that remained was the Laugh House, which is a black comedy club, and that's where I started. I only did the black comedy circuit for years, like before I ever crossed over into the mainstream stuff at all. So knowing that world, when I got to perform at the Brown's place, the Uptown Comedy Store there, that was such a cool thing for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
And to do well, I mean, pandering wildly, I'm sure, but doing well still. But I knew how to pander nice in the beginning.
Wow. That's quite a throwback.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
1992, 93, 94.
Did that feel, I mean, that had to feel at the how long were you in comedy when that popped up?
I started in 85.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say started, it means I started dabbling.
Right.
Like just open mics occasionally.
I played I would start at a rock club.
Were you in college or something?
No, high school.
High school still?
Shit.
So in high school, I would go to this rock club called February's on Hempstead Turnpike in Elmont.
Okay.
And it was a rock club.
Yeah.
So me and my friends and my friend would say, you need to MC. And I would MC. And my first joke was, because Live Aid just came out. Mm-hmm. That's how I remember this. And Live Aid, I was looking for an Ozzy joke because Ozzy was on. Mm-hmm. So my very first joke was, did you guys see Live Aid? How great was Ozzy? You know, you had Freddie Mercury and U2, but when they threw the Ethiopian on stage and Ozzy bit his head off. And there's 8 people going, yeah, Breuer, you're the best. And then I was doing, this place called February's, which was a rock club, and they would play metal and Priest and all these guys. And then I went to Governor's in Long Island. Yeah. And I played there 3 times, and I really thought I was going to be discovered immediately. That's how cocky and confident I was.
But also
I reached out to managers in a Yellow Pages about a month in the comedy. I was like, well, time to get some fucking muscle behind this muscle.
Hilarious.
Some muscle behind this muscle.
Because I started in the internet age. I remember submitting to like a Sierra Mist competition in 03. And I was like, well, they'll probably pluck me out of Tucson, and it'll be cool to buy a car in the first month. But you're talking about, working at February. You're like 16, 17?
No, I was 17,
That's
about
still
to turn 18.
Fucking crazy. You're like 17. You're like, let's go rip it at Governor's. I was 26 driving out to Governor's like, fuck.
I was 19. when I started.
I was 20. Yeah, I was 21.
But it took me 5 whiffs of not even going on stage before attempting to go on. And did you felt comfort there because people knew you though too a little bit?
No, nobody. No,
you were just going.
It was the shows. The shows.
The shows.
The rock show.
And then I went into acting, and I got some jobs. But then my family moved to Florida, and that fucked me up.
Okay.
It threw me way off course.
Yeah.
And so, 1989, I was watching Arsenio Hall. And I said, God, I want to go back to stand-up. God, I want to go back. Why don't I follow my stand-up career? In 1989, I'm watching, or it was 88, something like that, Arsenio Hall, and Eddie Murphy's on there. And Arsenio goes, so, Eddie, there's a lot of young comedians out there. What, you got any advice for them? And Eddie Murphy looked at the screen. He goes, don't listen to your mother. Your mother tell you to fall back on stuff. You can never fall back. If you want to be a comedian, just do it 100%. If you're gonna do something, you got to do 100%. You kept it 20% here, 40%, and I went, holy shit, he's talking to me. and so that I saved all my money in Florida as a waiter for a year, and I said I'm going to take off and go full blown and never look back. And that was 1989, July. And I went to a place called Ron Bennington's Comedy Scene.
Hell yeah.
At the Radisson Inn, Clearwater, Florida.
Yep.
And then...
Fucking 30 years ago.
Fucking,
that's awesome.
And then 2.5, 3 years later, I was featuring, which means you do 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Headlining, but I should not have been headlining. And then I said, I got to move to New York, L.A.
By the way, did you get just not to sidebar here too much, but did you get like a nice coked up, whacked out Ron Bennington?
Yeah.
We're all dying to know what a night with him would be like that was like.
Yeah, we know reformed, successful Ron Bennington.
I know smooth jazz, old junkie story Ron Bennington. I want to hear the fucking. Yeah, I know Ron Bennington doing like fucking Fred Astaire flips off a wall.
That's what I want. I've gotten double glasses on the head, chomping at a cigar, wise tales Ron Bennington. Yes. I want a guy that's fucking waitresses are nervous to be alone with.
Dressed like fucking AC Slater.
Yeah. I want the fucking give us the dirt.
Ron Bennington, it was called the Ron and Ron Show, and it was on like 98 Rock, and he was the biggest radio DJ in the Tampa, St. Pete, Florida. I mean, he was huge.
And that's literally coming from, he just went on the radio to promote the comics from the comedy club, and they were like, you're pretty great. You want to just be on the show? And he was like, yeah.
He goes, cool, let me step into this and be a legend.
Yeah. And then, so he only showed up once in a blue moon, and when he showed up, it was like Rodney Dangerfield showing, but Dangerfield's, you were you're like, holy shit, Ron Bennington's here. Oh now I don't want to. I'm going up, dude. I'm not going up tonight. I'm not. My set's not tight enough. I can't fucking go in front of Ron. And he would go up, and he would talk about Philadelphia, and he would do his set like, "Oh my God, it's Ron Bennington."
Did he wear robes like Rodney? he's in a terry cloth. He's like, "Hey, we're all gonna get laid." Like, fucking Ron was a swinger.
He was a swinger.
Yeah, good for Ron.
He was in with the Phillies and the Hooter girls. It was huge.
80s Hooters girls?
He was full-blown rock star.
That's Vanilla Dan Tens.
I see he was a rock star.
Full-blown rock star.
I fucking love Ronnie B.
Yeah, extremely intimidating. It was huge.
I'm still intimidated by him.
And that's in 1991. I said I'm moving back to Long Island in my friend's basement. And in 6 months, I got the Uptown Comedy Club.
Wow.
And then, so I kind of got shot out of a cannon quick. 2 years on there, and then development, and me and Chappelle are going to have a sitcom, and then Saturday Night Live. It all happened really quick.
Yeah, but you moving from Florida to New York, and you're featuring, you're doing some headlining work down there. When you moved to New York, do you notice that your jokes work? Like
my jokes worked, but everyone hated me.
Okay,
and
you're saying in the Black Club?
But I'm saying I'm just saying when I moved from Tucson to New York, and I was doing the same thing. I was featuring, which was a stretch in Tucson, and emceeing, and I moved here, and I was like, oh, I was totally wrong. I had to do a thing where I was like, tear it all down. We got to restart everything.
I did too, and I hated certain comics because they were such dicks.
Yeah.
I hated Mark Maron. I hated Louis C.K. I hated all these motherfuckers because they were dicks.
Were they just like snobby?
They were snobby, fuck you, look down on me. So my attitude was like, well, fuck you. I'm going to crush you.
Yeah.
And through time, and even Attell at one point, I was like, well, fuck you. You go on stage and you insult me when you go up on stage. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going to crush you.
I love it.
And so
0 to 60 Dan loves
so
that.
I came with my feather. I came like, hey, fuck you guys. I'm just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Mark and they all, Dave, we all eventually, it was all cool after a while.
Yeah.
Mark eventually apologized, and I even fucked with Mark at one time because Mark was all about, I'm not doing TV, man. I'm too cool for TV and all that. And so he's like, and before I would go on stage, he'd go, Breuer, you're gonna go out and woo him with your animation.
Oh, dude, let me tell you something.
I swear to God, and I'd be with my wife.
What a
like,
shitty thing to say
as
to
a
somebody
guy-
before they go on, and you're not really friends.
and I'm like, dude, why are you being a dick?
Dude.
I'm just trying to do my time.
You're getting me riled
And then I would do a set, and then Attell would go up after me. He's like, "Let's hear it for Breuer and his hand puppets." Like, fuck you, Dave, you cunt. Sorry, I don't talk about fucking dead hookers. Sorry, I'm not as intelligent as all you guys.
Yeah.
And
So fucking funny.
So yeah, I had a problem when I first got here, and then Louis never gave me a problem, but I just felt like he just didn't. He just looked at me. He was like, ugh.
You can feel that, I guess, sometimes. I try. I hope it reads, but I make a concerted effort because I was helped so much, ironically, by Dave Attell helped me a bunch of my career. Patrice, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Bobby Kelly, who have helped me in my career.
I just saw him.
I've always,
in Aruba.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby was just down there with his family and doing shows.
Yeah.
But people that have helped me like that, so when I'm on the road and like the features and hosts, I'm always like trying to be very cool too, and like hang out, take them to lunch or something, just because I know how much that meant to me.
I learned, Jay, from those days, I would never treat other comics like that.
Yeah.
Whether I liked them or not liked them, I would never do that to another comedian ever.
Sure.
And so now I want to make it clear that was the beginning.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
That's you being a new comic up from
new
Florida.
guy.
You got a chip on your shoulder too.
And
Yeah,
you're like
that's what I'm saying.
from here and you're back to New York, so you're kind of like,
I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the good-looking, gonna-be on TV guy.
yeah. And they're like artsy and like,
yeah.
they're like,
Fuck you and your artsy bullshit.
Fucking beatniks.
Yeah.
they're like,
Beatnik assholes.
dating is weird. Dating is weird.
Yeah.
Well, because you had comedy, I assume that wouldn't work well in like the coffee shop. I've never had that either, where I can go to the coffee shop. They're always like, they're so very poo-pooing of it.
But I also realized I don't need to go there.
Right.
I don't need that crowd. It's not my crowd.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a pretty important thing for a comic
Find
to
your
learn.
audience. Yeah.
If I play baseball, as a comedian, I compare myself to a baseball player. I don't want to sing or walk. I want the, oh my, the outfielder didn't even walk.
Yeah.
It's in the upper deck. I flip the bat.
Yeah, Barry Bonds those
I
motthfuckers.
walk
trot.
real slow around the bases, and I eye the pitcher going, try to throw me inside again, stupid.
Yeah.
That's it. You learn, okay, I only swing at fastballs, and the fastballs I'm knocking the upper deck. I'm not going to woo you with my intelligence.
But
I'm not going to. I'm not going to try to talk over your head. That's not me. I'm not that smart. I'm not good.
What's
And everybody
great-
should hope that everyone's not the same kind of thing.
Well, when you're something
because the
like-
odds that you're the best at that thing are slim.
But also being honest with yourself and like what you want to do. Because there's a lot of people that be like, I want to do something. I see something else is popular. Let me do that. But if you do yourself, you can be like, because that Barry Bonds thing is, I think we all have that. You want to fucking flip the bat at the pitcher and be like,
don't you
fucking,
even get, as you get
nice
older,
job.
like you get the novelty of like, I get still the silliness as a comic, especially you tries to write something that hits people. That you say Jeff Dunham's success, and people always, you kind of, as a young comic, you definitely want to go like, ugh, because he's doing it with that thing. But at the end of the day, well, someone's got to do that thing. Like, no, I don't do that thing, and he does it probably great.
Yeah.
Like, why do I care? It's like it's out of, you should almost be happy it's out of your lane.
Well,
it's not even what you're going for.
Jay, you hit it, and you reach a maturity in life. Like there was a time where I hit in life where I went, "Oh my God, Mark found himself."
Yeah.
I was a dick. And I'm sorry, guy. I love you. Now I love you.
What a cool character. He's like,
and I'll never forget Attell one time, which Dave would never remember this. I think it was right before I got Sunday Live, and he kind of pulled me aside.
He wouldn't remember it then.
No, but he goes, "You should be on TV." And I went, why do you say? He's like, you're a TV guy, man. I'm surprised TV has it. And I went, oh my God, he gave me a compliment. Like, oh my God, the king of... And so I was like, oh my God, Dave accepted me. And then Louis, no, but it was, you start seeing everyone else mature, and then you're like, you know what? There comes a time, too, where you're not competing against everyone. You just compete against yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
You set yourself goals. And I'm happy for everyone who does whatever.
Takes you a long time to get there, like longer than you think.
It's
definitely over. Unless you find very young success, doesn't happen for everybody. Or at least like the success where you're like, I'm good.
No.
And if you find that young, maybe. But I said that when I realized, that was one of the interesting things when I got my hour special Comedy Central. The next day, one of the first things that hit me where I was to call Kevin Hart, because I've always had the story like, yeah, okay, we lost touch because he went to Hollywood, he became a huge star, and what are you going to do? But I go, I never really worked hard to stay in touch with him either. And I thought of that, and I was like, yeah, I probably didn't want to hear about how fucking awesome shit was going for him constantly. So, you know what I mean? You realize
but
that it takes maturity to get there.
Yeah, and even in maturity, you can learn how to go, like, you can actually learn to be the opposite and have someone in your life, you're like, oh, I'm pulling this along. I should just let go of this because clearly I'm the only one that wants this thing. But, like, you can do that with, like, harboring resentment.
Dan, I know what you're getting at, and the lead singer of Korn's been texting me back lately.
Jonathan Davis doesn't care about
He writes back, though.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, everybody says about Gary Clark, and then he wrote back, too. But okay, I'm just letting you know. Don't give me your number if you don't want me to text you ever.
Jonathan Davis. You just bring it up.
Yeah. I'm not going to make it weird, but I mean, once in a while, I'm going to fucking say, hey.
Okay, it would be nice to get text back. It'd be nice to get text back.
There's a lot of blue in them Jonathan Davis texts.
Hey.
There's a lot of swipe ups of blue, and then like a cool man. Hey, he wrote back.
But I mean, even it's kind of cool to hear you say that because as a guy that looks up to you and a guy that dude, the Pesci show with you and Colin is that's like one of the things that I remember clearly where I was when I was watching it, like as a fucking weird 13-year-old, just being like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's great to hear you say stuff about like, Louis being a dick to you, and you're like, because I have this incessant need to be liked. It's pretty obvious. I talk about it a lot on the show. Yeah. And Louis C.K. is a god. And I got in at the cellar and he would
hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody hates you.
But that's how you walk around. And it was like Louis didn't dislike me, but Louis didn't like me. And for me, that was like a thing where I'm like, do I suck? Am I? And it spiraled out of control. And you hear someone else talk about it, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm just.
And I got to say, he never was blatantly a dick to me.
Yeah.
Just dismissive.
In my head.
Sure.
Yeah.
In my head, he just didn't like me because he didn't give me the time of day, and that really bothered me.
It's the exact same thing. And that,
Chris Rock's never spoken to me 1,000 times. He's walked past me. And you know what? He's threatened by me. You know I process that?
Jay goes, he can feel my power radiating off me. He understands that I'm a titan.
He can feel my bigger and blackers coming.
Yeah, but I think it's so fucking relieving to hear someone else say that because you go through it and then you're like home having shower arguments with Louis C.K. where you're like, yeah, dude, well, you fucking jerked off in front of a lady, and I'm a good dude. And then you're just getting out and you're like, dude, he did nothing to me. And I'm just fucking.
But when you trivialize your own comedy, even it's the same thing. There's a thing you do that's what makes your comedy unique. You're able to do impressions. You do voices. You incorporate that into your comedy.
But just what he said when he was.
But you think comics like Dave Attell are like cornball, and you can't live in that, man. You're not doing your comedy for Attell. That's the big deal. It's not for Attell. Your comedy.
I had that Marin moment with Kevin Brennan where I'm waiting to go up, and he goes,
I got stories about Kevin.
But I'm about to go on stage, and he goes, you gotta make him laugh with your wrestling noises. And it's just like, I don't even know what that means. And but then when I learned that that's just Kevin playing with you, Kevin. And I'm just like, and I go, right? When I learned that, then I just go, I'll bite your fucking nose off, old man. And then he's just like,
laughs.
He laughs. He texted me while I was on stage. He was following me last week at the Cellar. I'm on stage. I get off stage. It's a text from Kevin Brennan. It just says hack. fuck. And then I text him back, bitter asshole. And then he texts me back. He goes, "Oh, I was just sending you that to throw you off when you're on stage."
Yeah,
and it's
Kevin's fucking nuts.
But when you realize that it's not, I love Kevin Brennan. And it's like when you realize it's not
right.
He gave already a gallon of bleach on the Anthony Gumia show.
He what?
He gave already a gallon of bleach on the Anthony Gumia show. He'll go for it.
He'll go for that punchline.
I've had those moments though.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if Jim Breuer's on our show being like, yeah, I fucking Mark Maron whispered that to me. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm just like 0 to 60 Dan's just like barking at the door. Like,
oh, dude, people know. Judah Friedlander early when I first got to New York would go at the Boston Comedy Club. I'm always like a wall leaner.
Yeah.
And I guess my elbow was up or something. And he goes, God, man. He goes, when you do comedy, everyone's just we're all in the back just laughing because your hand when you talk just keeps bouncing. It's the thing to tell like a 3-year comic. You're like, oh God.
Oh,
just when I thought it was pretty cool, I was working the Boston Comedy Club.
Oh, fuck, this sucks. Oh God, this sucks so bad.
You know, it's funny. I got into the Boston Comedy Club doing the Sunday Night There, which was their black show with Talent and Will Sylvans.
Talent, wow.
And that's what I wanted to not to go back.
Wow.
Will Sylvans, yeah, not to go back. But because you said you came back to Long Island in your friend's basement, and then 6 months later was on Uptown Comedy Club. What was the lead into like you getting into the black circuit of comedy? Because that show was like
it was because of that. I got into that. And that honestly changed my life on many levels.
That was just an audition you did?
Yeah.
You weren't doing like you weren't pulled out of like a black comedy rooms at all or anything?
No.
Oh, interesting.
No, as a matter of fact, that changed my life as far as on so many levels. I grew up in Valley Stream, New York, where in Long Island, at the end of my street was the borderline. Across the street was all black. We were all white.
Yeah, like Green Acres Mall.
So if a black guy if we went into the black neighborhood, we'd instantly hear, "Go home, white boy."
Right.
And if they walked down the street by us, the entire neighborhood would stop like a black bear was walking down the street. It was like, holy shit, it's fucking, hide the fat white chicks and fucking hide your purses and your bikes. And
the fat white chicks were like, no, don't hide me. No.
Who is this black bear?
It was intense. So it was really intense. So I grew up, I'll say racist. All I knew was black people. I thought rape, killing, murder. I'm going to get robbed. So now,
did your family perpetuate that? They
It was the news. It was the culture.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the culture. And when I got Uptown Comedy Club, now I'm in Harlem every single day. And all I remember was how much it changed my life. And one of the greatest. I learned so much about life. I saw a guy get shot.
Really?
I'll never forget a changing moment for me there was a couple big changing moments. One was Tracy Morgan was on that show, and me and Tracy became very close. And I know this sounds crazy, but it was a guy named Yee Yee, and I don't remember Yee Yee's real name. And Yee Yee wrote The Top Cops. And Yee looked at me like one animal looking at another. He's like, yo, you put stuff in your hair? Now, what do you mean? He's like, can I touch your hair? Like, you want to touch my hair? And he's like, what is that makes your hair stand? He was fascinated by my hair. And I was like, can I touch your hair? I never touched a black person's hair. I'm being serious. And I remember being on the street and I heard like pop, 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 pop. And it was on 125th and 5th. And Tracy came and he went, who got shot? And I went, you heard that? It was summertime. It was fireworks. He went, no, somebody got shot. And I went, what? And he went, they're here across the street. And to this day, I'll never forget. It was like a movie scene. I looked across the street and I saw a guy on all fours struggling for his life. And I went numb. And I'd even pay attention to traffic. I just walked to him, and I'll never forget the image of this guy's blood just streaming out of his nuts, his head dripping down on the sidewalk, going into the curb and down into the sewer. and there was a big woman going, "Look at you now, motherfucker! You stupid motherfucker! See, I told you." And I'm like, nobody gives a shit. Like, what is going on? This is so far from anything I've ever seen.
You didn't feel there were cops coming or anything?
No, and then the paramedics came, and they were like, I'm not exaggerating, they were like telling jokes, and while they're telling jokes to each other and laughing, they're like, "You gotta stay still. Hey, if you don't stay still, you're gonna be dead. I'm gonna tell you."
What year is this? Like 1990?
This is 92, 93.
So this is fucking right before Giuliani cleaned. This is New York.
Well, this is also right before that. There was a cop killed by the Nation of Islam, and I'll never forget that. I was in a bodega, and there was a big Nation of Islam guy behind me.
Yeah.
And he started in with me, and I was scared to death. He was like, "You white devil motherfucker, what you doing here, motherfucker?" And I went, oh my God, I'm dead. I'm dead. And he had leather, and then, what's his name? Flex.
Yeah.
Flex.
It's great. I love that. Like,
Flex is in juice, too.
Yeah.
Flex said, "Yo, man, why don't you get educated? You don't know this kid. You don't know this white boy. He's got more soul than you'll ever have." And those two started going at it. And the Nation of Islam guy called him Uncle Tom. And I was like, "What's an Uncle Tom? What lingo's going on here?" And I learned so much about life, culture, how demographics are held in a position.
He goes, "Wait, this is the story of how you became unracist?"
Well,
it's telling the story of how you found out Flex was an Uncle Tom.
Well, yeah. And I remember one day, that neighborhood loved me so much.
Yeah.
To the point where now is parking in the back streets, and they were all like, "Hey, what's up, white boy? What's up?" And
because they knew you from the show.
They knew me from the show.
That's awesome.
And they knew I was non-judgment. And now I was like, I feel so safe here. And I remember walking the back streets, and when I was really comfortable there, and they loved me. I'll never forget, there was cops chasing a guy down the street, and this guy was running towards me, and I went, "Oh my God, I could take this guy out hard. I could be a hero to these cops."
Yeah.
And I also saw the whole neighborhood just watching, and I went, if I take this guy out, they're all going to turn on me.
Yeah, you're snitch of the city.
And I just went, I let him run, and he got caught like 20 feet up the road. But me and Tracy had about a 3-hour conversation about black, white, welfare, drugs, why ghettos exist, why our mentality, and I swear in my life and my children's lives to this day, I wish the entire world heard that conversation, because it would have changed so many lives. And one of the things that really I'll never forget, going back to my neighborhood, and because you want to fluff your feathers, and I'm on TV, and I went to this bar that I used to go to all the time, and one of the kids from high school that was a star came up to me. This part's heavy. I don't know if I should say it.
Well, let it rip.
And this is when I realized how much I changed, but how much we're brainwashed, and how much you're just brainwashed. Racism is brainwashing. And he goes, on both sides. It's not just white people. It's another fucking farce.
We do excel at it, though.
We do good, but trust me, it's not just us.
I mean, you're born varsity, though.
Yeah.
We basically created the West Coast offense of racism. We dink and dunk.
We just handle it more in a subliminal manner.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? We're not so vocal about it.
Racist defense wins championships.
We're just smarter about it, because we're white.
The Europeans have mastered this since
very
AD.
White. Very white. Very white over there.
Right. AD, they've been fucking masterminding this shit. And I swear on my life, this is a moment that changed my entire life. Guy comes up to me, he's like, "Man, it's fucking, I see you on TV." He goes, "What's it like working with them?" But he said the word, and I just looked at him and went, "Yo, it's not what you think." I'm actually friends with it. He went, "You're friends with that?" And I went, "Yo."
Yeah.
And then I swear to God, I'll never forget. He looked at me, he got mad at me, and he went, "Oh, I get it, because you get a salary from them." And he just couldn't comprehend. His hatred was so powerful.
I hope you didn't try to explain it to him, because honestly,
I did, but I knew right there it's deaf ears.
Yeah.
And that made me go, holy shit, like this is, how do you even begin to change something like this?
I think there is a time where it's too late for people. I've had to just in a smaller scale with just comedy, people, I said, trying to explain to somebody who waits in line of fans to tell me they thought I sucked and I should change what I do, versus going like, don't you feel like maybe you just didn't like it? And maybe I'm not your thing. Like, people don't see that kind of thing, you know. So it's also, for that guy to walk up with I'm sorry, Dan, but for that guy to walk up with the confidence, he goes, I'm going to drop a couple M-bombs. He goes, this guy's going to be into it. The thing he knows where you're from, and just he goes, this guy's definitely going to jump on my M-bomb path here.
This is going to work. It's like one of those things, sorry, but it's like one of those things we were just talking about where it's someone else's shit spilling on you. Like, this guy's popular in high school. He's watching his life slip away, realizing that high school might have been the pinnacle.
Right.
And you're on fucking TV showing up, and the one thing he's got on you, he's like, fuck it, let me just be racist as shit to try to make him feel bad that he's...
But I can honestly say 5 years before that would have been me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, and I hate when people like, he said the N-word in 1977. Oh, please.
Yeah.
So people grow, people learn about life.
For the record, I said at 2:07 p.m. today.
They mature. If I was judged for things I did in 1983, 1984, 85, I might be in jail.
Yeah.
So
80s were loose.
But that I don't know why I brought all of that, but like, comedy's one thing.
Well, I'll say it's an interesting thing.
But it's changed my life. Uptown Comedy Club was the greatest thing ever happened to me in my life.
That's awesome.
I grew up in a neighborhood that was relatively mixed and became blacker as I got older in it. And then I moved to South Jersey, which was really white. Very few black people. And then when I started going back to Philly to do comedy, it was the Black Comedy Club, and that's sort of where I landed and started for the first 2 or 3 years. It was mostly what I did was the black comedy circuit. And I mean, less than a year in, I don't remember going to, like, in the beginning there was places that were scary, and there was places where things happened that were bad and scary. But I didn't go to gigs with that thing always like, oh man, we're going into like, there was a rough room, like Manhattan proper, like in Brooklyn. They'd be like, that's the room, like, boy, if it goes bad for a second. But I kind of always knew also I had the pander enough to be like, I know how to be the white guy at these black shows. You know what I mean? I know how to
let me do my white guy in the only room of black people. But
you want to hear something funny? This is so years later, okay? Years later, my wife gets born again. It's another whole story. Okay, you get into that story. And she's getting involved with the local church and whatever. So I said, hey, I get suites at Shea Stadium. And she goes, do you ever think you would take them? They're all Cubs fans because they're from Wisconsin, the pastor. And I said, why don't I take him to a Mets game? So we're going to the Mets game from Jersey, and we're in the worst traffic ever. So I get off the Harlem River Drive, and I went, I'm going to go through Harlem because I know Harlem. So as I'm going through Harlem, I my kids' lives, I'm going through, and I see these people like petrified. They're like, oh my God, if we break that, this is the worst place we could be.
From Wisconsin, so they're completely out of their element.
Way out of their element. And I swear on my life, you can't even, if you wrote this in a movie scene, they'd go, it's too over the top. We're at a red light. And I looked at this guy, Sean, who was sitting next to me. I went, Sean, I know you look worried, but I gotta be honest with you. If it all went down, this is the place I would go because this is the place I would feel the safest. I said, this community would welcome me with open arms. And he looked at me and went, really? And just as that happened, I hear, pow! And I looked, and there's a guy with his wife and kid, like, yo! Let me get a picture, Jim Breuer! I love you, man! You real! And I went, oh, shit!
That's so great.
Oh, shit! And it happened at every red light, and it wasn't like you're the guy from Half Baked. They were like, you're the guy from Uptown
Comedy Club.
Yeah,
you're the real guy.
Awesome, dude. That's fucking great.
Yeah. And it was funny when I was on Uptown, too, they all thought I was cops. I'm like, I'm not a cop. I would just stand in the corner. And there's another thing. I know this sounds crazy, but I need to look at this guy. I'm trying to see what kind of... I started to tell what origins everyone was from. Like, are they Indian? Are they African? Are they Jamaican? Are they Haitian? And I'm like, oh, the Haitians don't like the Jamaicans. The Jamaicans don't like this group. Wow, they're just like us. The fucking Italians don't like the Irish. The Irish don't like the Germans.
They're fucking greasy assholes, and that's why Italians suck. I just start jumping in.
It's everywhere.
Black Blue Scandinavian, for the record.
Yeah,
it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Norwegians are real pieces of shit.
But it is funny.
I went to England. They hate the redheads. Why? Because they're linked to Ireland, and I'm like, you people hate redheads? The fuck is wrong with all you people?
Whose joke?
Ginger.
Someone's got a great joke about.
That's what it's a ginger. You're a ginger.
So someone's got that great joke about that. He goes, he goes, God, yeah, fuck the Irish. Is it Normans? Like, fuck the Irish.
Yeah.
And he goes, you guys are still on Irish?
yeah.
He goes, oh man, there's so much more out there.
This time is flying.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
We're almost 7. I got to go in like 10 minutes. I got a private gig tonight.
All right.
I'm doing a gig. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing a gig for the head of Sony Music. He just retired.
Really?
Holy shit.
Wait.
Tommy Mottola? Wasn't that he was?
That kind of sounds like.
I think he was the head when he married Mariah Carey when he was the president.
Whoa! This is the guy you just gave me material.
Tommy, I don't think it's Tommy Mottola.
No, he's.
What if this exposes me as actually being a rich kid? I go, that's my dad.
You still do jokes about him being married to Mariah Carey? He goes, sorry, I thought you were Tommy Mottola.
He goes, that's the best roast I've ever seen in my life.
When I took this gig, I thought you were Tommy Mottola.
He goes, I was only doing this because I thought I have a bunch of Mariah Carey jokes that I thought were going to murder.
No, Martin Bandier, chairman and CEO of Sony ATV Music forever, and he's retiring.
Let's take a look at him. We'll roast his ass right now.
Bring him up.
This is him right here.
Oh, look at this guy.
Him. That's the picture they sent me. That one, right? The second one.
That guy. You guys could smell the money through the picture. That is so much fucking money.
He looks like the guy who hides the vaccine for AIDS.
Yeah. He looks like yeah. He goes, well, if we give it to him, then there's more people. More people means...
You see, the money's in the treatment, you see.
Yeah.
Jake, can I bring you? Yeah. Oh my God, I'll give you half my money.
Jay, go. God. Jay, fuck Kiss. Go make money. Go get money. Get money, Jay.
Oh my God.
That guy, yeah. What a fucking...
Oh, man, he's going to love stand-up comedy, this guy.
Yeah, what a private islet tan.
Yeah.
Look at this. Wait.
I'll tell you what this guy loves, laughing at himself.
Yeah, this guy really gets it that he's the butt of the joke.
Look at the room I got to perform in. It's got 3 round tables.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
This is what I'm performing in.
How long do you have to do?
No longer than a half hour.
Great. That's great. You know what that means? You're on the right side of that because they said no longer. So you can do fucking 18 and technically you've fulfilled your contract.
You're like, damn, usually I do 2 hours, but I guess I'll cut it short.
Yeah.
30 minutes max.
You always want a max. Never want a min.
Max.
Max, dude. I say you do a hot 18.
Wait a minute. How long are you guys on till?
We go till 8.
Oh, damn it.
You're going to do it and come back? That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been great.
No less than a half hour. Sorry, guys, I got to jam out.
He goes,
wait a minute.
Contracts.
Wait a minute.
It was yesterday.
I thought I had to leave. Wait, whoa. Max Bander, I don't have to arrive till 9, is that right?
All right.
Also, I'm not on till 9:30. I don't have to be there till 9. I thought I had to be there at 8.
Oh, yeah? You want to hang out?
Can I?
Yeah, dude,
please.
Of course.
Let's take our first commercial break then. We'll come back with Jim Breuer,
Fucking
the album live
to
in Portland. It's going to be available wherever you buy or stream albums on Friday, April 5th. For tour dates, visit officialjimbreuer.com.
Yeah, dude.
And we'll be right back.
I want to hear some...
It's the bonfire.
Yeah, this is Fu Manchu Hetfield. I fucking love Fu Manchu, James Hetfield. It's the Bonfire Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. I'm Dan Soder. That's Big J. Oakerson. And his new special available April 5th, wherever you stream albums, live from Portland. Jim Breuer on the show. Just having a fucking time.
Thank you,
drinking
Lou.
coffee, you know,
Crown and
playing
King nothing.
Metallica. Fu Manchu Hetfield. It's just fucking all
Fu Manchu?
motor.
You didn't have a problem when they cut the hair.
I
was thrown at first a little bit, but then I was fine with it.
I just remember Alice in Chains on their Unplugged. The bassist had on his guitar, "Friends don't let friends give haircuts," because Metallica was in the audience.
Well, they made you deal with a lot at once. They cut their hair and they started making 3.5, 4-minute rock songs.
Yes,
and that was a lot. You were like, oh, you start getting worried. You're like, is this about to become Bon Jovi? Like where they went from like I thought they were so cool to like music from my mom.
Yeah,
and like I was worried that Metallica was gonna pull this in some way. You know, Guns N' Roses got out of the game quick enough. They didn't have time to get old and change their music really together. Yeah. And you're like, oh shit, it's gonna be the change. But they hung in there, man. The music's solid. And every
album they put out, you're like, fuck, they still got it. It's great every time. I remember getting Death Magnetic early, and like super excited. That's the last time it was like a CD, because everything after that was like download. But I remember getting Vic Garcia, my old roommate, got me Death Magnetic from a guy I knew at Warner Brothers, and I remember like listening to it and being like, "This is fucking awesome!" I loved it. Gave it to DeRosa.
They're still cool, man. They're still fucking cool.
Love the new album.
Yeah,
more than. To me, it's the greatest rock album in 30 years.
Okay.
Not Metallica.
Yeah.
Greatest rock album in 30 years.
You went on the road with them.
Yeah.
You just got off the road with them.
Just got off the road with them.
Fucking awesome. But what I love even more than anything is you also do a Lars, which is one of my those are one of those impressions where I'm like, how do I get him to do Lars?
It's easy. I'll fucking... He was the one that helped me through this. And dude... First of all, the whole thing happened where I got a text from Hetfield last March.
Yeah.
And I went, and James is always, when they ask me to do things, he's very vague.
Okay.
So he's in Europe touring, and he went, hey, would you be interested in doing some type of tour with us? And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. What?
And I probably geeked out a little hard and went, oh, dude, I'll fucking kill whatever you want. I'll do it.
I'm order for you. I love you.
And he went, don't get excited. It's not really stand-up. It's more of something else.
All right.
And I haven't talked to the rest of the band. Yeah. I went, okay. 2 weeks later, he sends me ideas. And the ideas are blasting T-shirts into the crowd. It's
I'm not off board yet.
Right.
I'm still having this conversation with Hetfield. If Hetfield brings up T-shirt guns with me, I'm going, continue.
Right. Maybe there's a hardwired Harry that roams the crowd or in the parking lot. And I'm going,
you're a mascot now.
He goes, it's a fursuit. Here's the thing. Very breathable breathable when you're on the inside.
Before you get excited, you're wearing a burlap head.
He goes, we're about to unveil the Magadon Metallica mascot. You're going to be inside.
Yeah, you're that golf cart guy that drives while everyone, hits the ball at you. So... And he's throwing these ideas out. So I throw him ideas, and I don't hear from him.
Yeah.
I go, oh, wow, this ain't happening. And May comes. Now it's May, and I'm at a gig, and I get a call from his manager. Hey, man, this is Mark. Are you around this Sunday? Yeah. I go, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm alone in New Jersey. He went, I'll come to your house. I went, you gonna come to my house?
I always imagine Metallica like helicopters in, like anyone that they work with. Like
it was sort of like that.
What's funny in him, even
he just comes
even
down.
As you're telling this, is him reaching out to you and saying like, "Don't get excited." There's so many like comedians and just people in the world who view you on that level to say like. It's like Jim Breuer just fucking texted me, and then you have a thing where you text the guy. You're like, I reached out. He goes, James probably busy. He's probably waiting to get back to me or whatever.
Yeah,
like you're putting it's such a weird flip of position.
Yeah, where it's like judo. You just all your momentum's against you. Where you're like, oh fuck, what? Yeah, dude, I'll talk to you. What? You want to talk to me? I'll call you right now. I love you.
There's 20 people you walk by a day. They were like, oh my god, I wish that guy would talk to me for 5 seconds. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm waiting. I have to keep my line clear.
You know what's so funny is I tensed. Before the show, I tensed up like a fucking prairie dog hearing a hawk screech when I heard Jim laughing with Lou down the hall, and I was like, that's fucking Jim Breuer. I've never met him. I was like, I'm Dan. It's just like one of those things where it's like,
I almost had to slap you.
Yeah. Like Jay's looking at me like, fucking pull it together, dude. I'm like, okay.
And so this guy, Mark, comes to my house. And I got all my ideas lined up.
Do you have an easel?
Oh yeah, I got video ideas. I got easels. I got everything. I got a whole notepad. I've got all these different. So if he doesn't like this idea, I got 5 other ones that are gonna work.
Yeah.
And he lives like, hey Jim, how you doing? Yeah, I'm in town. Blah blah blah. And I was just thrown off that he's at my house in the middle of nowhere, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I know he lives in San Fran. Like, what is he doing here? So he goes in my kitchen and he opens up his laptop computer and he's like, okay, so we start in September in Madison, Wisconsin, and then we go all the way to March, and it's basically like 7 days. And I know you do a residency, and there's only one date at the Paramount that you'd have to change. And I don't know if you talked with your wife Dee, but are you into this?
That's so funny.
And I went, well, yeah. And he went, great. Shuts it, and he goes, we're announcing this tomorrow on Stern and Rolling Stone, and we have your name in it. And he goes, we'll worry about developing what the show is, and I'll talk to your agent, and we'll figure out finances and all that. He goes, as long as you're into it. I went, okay. And before I can even think, the next day I was like, bang, Jim Breuer going on tour with Metallica. And
that's the way they talk about shadow government. Like, they come in and they go, Mr. Breuer, you are now the president of Venezuela. We'll announce it tomorrow. And like, on the news, they're like, a brutal takeover is happening in Venezuela. Jim Breuer now the president. And you're like, that guy was in my fucking kitchen. He knew my wife's name. He fucking helicoptered in.
He knew about your gigs at Paramount.
He knows that I threw away the band. I don't know if they hired him to fuck with me. I don't know what's going on.
Like, what about my thing at the Paramount? He goes, it's been handled.
Yeah. Mr. Breuer, there is no more Paramount. And you are also the leader of 330,000 people. Have a good night. Yeah, that's some fucking crazy shit.
Have a good night.
And that's how it, and I racked my brain trying to figure it out.
What is the first day of showing up for Metallica school like? When you just, you know what I mean? Like, you're like going and you're like, you have your nicest shirt on, and you're like, oh, Lars, hello, James.
Oh,
Hooker.
I'll tell you exactly how it went down. So here's the thing. I show up. No, first of all, before it even went down, they fly me to, like, Switzerland.
Yeah. Dude, they are Metalocalypse.
To see what the stage looks like.
We have this is where
something any comic could have handled with a simple cell phone picture.
Yeah.
Got you. It's like when they tell us, he goes, you want to come in Stupid Roy for sound check? Like, I'll just trust you guys have a microphone that works. Anyone can figure this part out, I guess.
At worst case scenario, I'll ask you to bump the mic volume.
Yeah. You want to see if your shirts blend in with the backdrop too much?
Dude, that's good. Mr. Breuer, we're going to bring you to the Metallica facility in the Swiss Alps. It's where they all train. It's just Lars in a pool just drumming. With like a fucking, like a Wolverine mask. He's like,
he's got nodes all over him, just teaching mechanics.
James is being flushed out with fresh sheep's blood.
That's Robert Trujillo. Yeah. Whatever he bases, he destroys.
Dude, there's different rooms, like fucking, like the Xavier Manor.
Trujillo is hitting 1,300 pounds of pressure on each string. Whatever he strums, he destroys.
Yeah. So they take you to fucking Switzerland just to show you the stage.
And I meet all the production.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what am I doing here?
That's the question. That's every comic at any gig that isn't in a fucking mall. You're like, what am I? What are you guys? Did you guys mishire me? Why am I here?
I want to parallel this. To you. When I joined the first show I did with Korn at all was at a small place in North Carolina. They called it the Ballroom Blitz Tour. So it was like 1,000-seat places, maybe a little bit. Some were like a couple thousand, but for the most part, it was small. This was a small one. It was the second day on tour. I joined the second day. When I get there, the opening band is on, who, as you know, ended up opening my Comedy Central special,
CO2,
become dear friends. 2 Cents.
2 Cents, yeah.
And these amazing guys. But they were on stage. Adam, the lead singer, is a great front man. He's bleeding actively on stage, and I didn't know their music before, and they're going for it. And I'm so intimidated, and they go, you just go up in between them and just do some comedy while they sit up for Korn. I go, I don't think it's going to work. I mean, at that moment, if they would have said, "You want to go home to your mom?" I would have went. I do. I want to go home with my mom.
Dude,
And then I went on, and it just went. That particular show, my buddy John, who's in the military, was stationed out there. He just happened to be able to go with, and something about just having a friend there also was like, I'm going to go give it a whirl, dude. You're almost like, I'll play to you if no one's paying attention. Like, we'll laugh at how much this just sucks. Right. But I was nervous as shit. But you walk in and everyone, even, dude, members of Korn, I'd be like, I'm Jay, I'm the comic who's on the show. He goes, we have a comic?
No.
Oh, dude,
I'm like,
yes.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
So you show up in Switzerland, and it's the whole, is this basically where the whole tour is learning how to build and take down the stage?
No, they're in the middle of the tour. This is one of the last shows.
Oh, okay. So this is, they're going to come off this, rest for a little bit, and go back on with you.
Right.
Just living fucking on the road.
Yes.
Well, they take breaks, though, right? It's like they go out for a stretch. And then,
yes, but this is the end of their tour, and there's only 2 dates left.
Yeah.
So I fly out there. The day of, at the hotel at 9 in the morning. They pick me up at 2, bring me to the arena. They show me the stage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then
you go, can I get a carpet out here? I like to panther.
You feel like you have to change something for you. I like if there could be candles.
You go, can we
here?
You go, can I test my mic? Like you're adding, you go like this, you go, you guys ever thought that light would probably be better over there? Just at least for my set?
And so I did say, it'd be nice if there were screens that people could see me.
Yes. Smart.
I said, that's all I need is
Game changer.
screens.
Yeah.
Game changer.
You know what? And this is just a real quick sidebar. What I've noticed from the Shiprocked story and the Metallica thing is like you're like a MacGyver with performance where you know how to just quick fix it. Where you go, drop it. We're just going to improv. And
Because
like,
you're going into
"Fix it."
situations, they know a comic's coming on these things.
Yeah.
But nobody there.
No,
When I
it's
first
comic.
got the first, that was the question that threw me for a major loop. They go, you want to give me your microphone? He's like, I'll set it up for you before the show. I went, what? Do you want me to do what?
Yeah.
And they go,
What do you-
your microphone. They go, you're a comedian, right? Like, so, like, you know, like, basically like musicians, like guitarists travel with their guitar. I go, this question's never come up in 18 years of comedy. And no one's ever asked me if I had my microphone.
Please start Googling custom microphones because I want to start showing up to half-sold heliums going like and go like this. Can you plug me in?
What's up, Huntsville, Alabama?
I go,
it's a golden fist.
I go, there's Delilah. I'm like, oh God, dating is weird. Yeah, that's good. That's gonna really rip in this room. I'm gonna take this with me in my hotel. I nap with it. I'm totally down with that.
I trust I can leave this here overnight.
Yeah. Do you guys have a lockbox or something I can put my fucking like your fucking BB King? You go, I need to put this somewhere.
But that's the thing, right? They want you to have some sort of like answers for what you need, and you're like,
Yeah, I said just a screen would be great. And then I watched the show. And I'm like, all right, well, all right, well, we'll see you back in the States. And then now before I leave, someone goes, hey man, Lars is in the food room and he wants to talk to you. He's got 15 minutes. Well, okay. So I go in there and he's like, and he's eating. He's like, so basically, why we hired you is because you're able to read a crowd and just, this is your fucking thing. Just do what you want.
That's great.
Like, all right, well, what
what's my thing?
like, are we, like, is that it?
Yeah.
Like, this is why I came to Switzerland or whatever.
Just so I can have a conversation while you eat fucking craft services.
Raclette. And weird Swiss food.
Yeah,
And he's like, if you got ideas, just run them by me. And then I still was really uneasy. I didn't know what and people are like, dude, you're opening. I'm like, I'm not opening.
Yeah.
I'm host MC of their openings, whatever it's called, the Lighten Up tour. They're calling it. I'm not opening.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a fucking. It's Jim Breuer in his 45-minute comedy set.
Yeah.
So now It's about a month before the show goes, and I'm stressing out.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You got a big thing coming.
Dude, I fucking reached out to Jay. I'm calling Bill Burr.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you want to come join me on stage? I'm not the only one going down.
Bill
You're all
Burr's-
going down with me.
Yeah, Bill Burr's going, what
the fuck?
By the way-
What the fuck? Why the fuck
am I-
I mentioned
you
that,
don't
Christine.
fucking call a guy and fucking offer him a fucking beginning spot, dude. You're not fucking opening.
Christine,
You're not fucking opening.
Can you
You're
pull
not the
up?
Who.
Can you pull up my calendar by any chance on the screen to show my after Jim texted me?
Yeah.
I have Metallica date listed in every single on my calendar.
You bought the uniform
He's waiting for
before...
James Hetfield. I'm waiting for him to call me up.
Dude, you got the uniform before you got hired at the job? You're just wearing the shirt, and you're like, here we go.
So
Papa John's going to call. I don't just like
And he
green.
goes, I fucking love it. I'm gonna...
So I called Jay. I'm like, hey, man, you available to, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I said, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I flew out. I flew out, pretended I had a gig in San Francisco, knowing Lars was there for a couple days.
Smart.
Now I talked to James. I'm friends with James.
Yeah.
But James is always kind of vague. He's like, I don't know, just kind of, I don't know. You do your thing. I'm like, all right, it's not helping me.
He's
He
got
speaks
a lot of people keep telling you just do your thing.
He's just
Yeah,
trying,
I'm
I'm
also,
trying to define what my thing is, guys.
dude, it's also
Right.
that's great. Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
speaking
it's
in rock star Vegasms.
It's a theater in the round.
Okay.
So I sat with Lars. I find Lars. I go to his house. He's like, why are you here?
I told you never come to my home.
I said, I have a gig out here. And I went, you know what? I really don't. I want to wrap my head on what you see. And he's laying down in a chair, like his legs are dangling over. And he goes like this. He goes, and we could see the entire San Francisco Bay. It's like a movie.
Yeah, he's in Tiburon.
And he goes, well, not anymore.
Oh,
Not
okay.
anymore. He's in San Francisco. And he goes,
That's my shithead cousin's knowledge. They go, Lars
not anymore.
Ulrich lives in Tiburon. And I'm like,
that house doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, well.
Been to that house. Had a great time there.
I can't wait to tell.
We got good stories there. He goes, here's the deal. First of all, you're writing bits and creating things that are for like 15,000 people. Trust me when I say you're lucky, maybe 800, maybe 1,000 people be in the arena when you're up there. So you got to think nobody's going to be in there. That's number one. Number two, you got to remember, tell them why you fucking here. Because you know the band, you know me, you know James, you know stories. Tell them stories. The times you worked with us. But the most important thing is you don't have to be funny.
What? That's like one of those things where you go, what? That's my thing.
Especially because you go, that's what I thought my thing was.
Yeah, he goes, do you know
the one
me?
thing I thought my
Do
thing was?
You start doubting your own name. You go, I'm Jim Breuer. I'm a comic.
No,
Do you know what I
Hey,
do?
man, go out there and don't be funny.
He goes,
And I went, okay. And I went, okay, I don't have to be funny. He's like, yeah, just tell stories and just, I trust you. I've seen you go into a room and you can work the room. You know the situation and you just fucking go with it. It's fucking brilliant. Just, you can do that in front of our crowd. He goes, we get bands. Nobody goes to see them. It's a bummer for the bands, a bummer for us. So why not give the crowd a fan experience? That's what we're looking for. And I went, okay.
yeah.
All right. And I planned this whole fucking thing for Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And it was on. I got a DJ.
Yeah.
A comedian that I can banter with, and he's going to play songs.
Great.
And even that guy came to my house, and he's like, and he's a punk rocker. He doesn't know rock and metal. And he goes, here's the songs I got. And every song is, what? I went, listen. Everyone in that audience is Jim Breuer.
Yeah.
They're married, they're kids, they grew up Metallica in 86. Maybe some of them loved, give me fuel, give me fire, give me, and that's where they started. But still, those people are not into, none of them are into that. Play old Van Halen, David Lee Roth, not fucking Van Halen, Scorpions, play fucking maybe a little bit Pantera, maybe one or two, not a lot of them.
Yeah, don't get too crazy.
Don't get crazy. Play what you hear now on Ozzy's Boneyard, and that crowd be happy. And I got stories, so I'll tell a story and go, one time when I met Ozzy on a play, and then boom, you play, I'm going up the road, play, hey, this happened, my girlfriend, and it's okay, so we're set, boom, 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 and we found the first show. I walk out 6 o'clock. I learned everything after the first show.
6 p.m.
I've got Madison, Wisconsin. I got the star player from their college football team.
University of Wisconsin, go Badgers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got the Badgers runner back, the Badgers quarterback. I'm going to run up on top, give tickets away.
Oh, yeah.
Every 15 minutes I have something scheduled.
You're dusting them.
Well, first 15 minutes I go up, hey, how you doing? It's maybe like 5,000 people in the arena. It's 6 o'clock.
Sure.
Really early.
Large crowd.
I bet at 6 o'clock you really feel like Hardwired Harry.
Yes. Yeah.
It's too bright for that.
Now I got to run to the top, and I don't have a security guard.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know how to get to the top.
Oh, boy.
And the lights, they can't find me. And so the guys on stage are like, Jim, where are you? It's a fucking disaster.
It's in the round?
They said Metallica, they're insistent that Metallica goes up at 8:30, and Metallica, Lars is insistent I stay on stage until Metallica comes out, because Metallica is big Jim Breuer fan, and they want all Metallica fans to start following Jim Breuer. So that's the part where I'm like, wow, thank you.
Thank you. But
Okay. 8:20.
Jim, you want to do a quick old 2 hour and 30-minute set?
8:20. I go backstage.
Yeah.
I go, are they still going up at 8:30? 100%. Great. 8:25, I go on stage. I get okay, this section, I think you're better than this section. You guys do the hokey pokey. You jump up and down. You're louder than them. You say blah, blah, blah. And they're fucking... Yeah. And the guy goes, turn on right, I gotta stretch. And I looked and went, oh, fuck. Okay.
Stretch.
I did 10 more minutes, and now the crowd's getting a little uptight.
yeah, they're going like, all right, dude.
And I'm about to get off, and again, they're not ready. I'm like, what the fuck? It's 8:40, 8:45. And now I'm getting the bottom teeth.
Yeah, it's turning hard now. Fuck you,
bottom
Jim Breuer.
Teeth are going, and I'm getting a lot of this. Fuck you. Get the fuck off the stage.
Yeah.
3 hours of anybody, though.
Correct.
It's
Yeah, dude.
3 hours.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I had the t-shirt cannons. They're not working, so I'd run out. And I'm like, "Are you ready?" And it'd go click, click, and they'd all and they'd all start booing. Boo. And it's not 5 people; it's sections. Boo. So
Just 114 now.
right,
Turn it.
So at one point, the funniest part was I had the DJ on stage, and he's wearing glasses and he can't see what the fuck he's doing. He calls me over on stage. People booing. They're telling me, get the fuck off the stage. And I went, oh my. And Metallica's management's there. Everyone's there. Everybody's there watching.
The big start.
For some reason, Cliff Burton's family's all there.
Everyone's
they're all there.
there.
And they're super disappointed at everything.
Cliff's spirit is watching.
He's like Obi-Wan.
It's the Jedi's on the side.
He's just on the
The
He's
guy
up
from
on-
Hanoi Rocks.
He's up on top.
It's going, oh,
It's
fuck.
a disaster.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they say, okay, they're ready. It's 8:55.
Yeah, but that fucking 25 minutes.
They go up. I go backstage, and I go, oh my God. But my attitude is always like, okay, tomorrow night we're going to kick their ass.
Okay, because in my mind,
Me and you were the same. I know where me and you are.
I'm taking a detective shower in the fucking public shower with it just running down with my hand against the wall, like, oh fuck.
Not me. I'm taking the old tags off my bag to get ready to put the ones to go home with. I'm like,
yeah,
guy
I'm
was
like,
with-
well, it was a failed experiment. Look, we did everything we could, right? We tried that one night, didn't work out. I'm gonna get out of here.
The guy I was
I'll
with,
never listen to you again. I'm sorry.
the guy I was with on stage went, Jim, we got to get the fuck off the stage. Swear to God, Joe Sib, we got to get the fuck off the
sick of
stage. We go off stage. He's like, dude, we can't fucking do this. I'm packing my bags. I'm fucking out. Hold on a second. Let's regroup. We know it works. The next night it was like, okay, no, I'm not going up to 7:30.
Yeah.
Yes.
You go out at 7, start playing songs. Fuck me going up in the crowd. You're going up in the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up, talk as long as I can. I'm going to fuck with the audience, talk his music on. When I'm done with that, you are then going to give ticket giveaways. You're going to go up on top. You go way up there. After that, we're going to play a trivia game with the crowd.
Genius.
After that, we're going to do a game show. I'm going to bring a couple knuckleheads up, and hopefully they get booed the fuck off the stage, and it'll be the most entertaining thing in the world for the crowd. And that's, by night 2 and 3, I found a rhythm like...
It becomes a breeze, and then when it comes every day, it's just like, oh, it's time to do my thing real quick. And then I'm going to get to sit and watch Metallica all night.
Dude,
again.
I'm not kidding you. By the second leg, and there was a part of me, and I think only you can understand this, Jay. I don't know. Maybe you too.
No, it's fine. I get it.
Maybe you too.
I'm green in this past.
I love Metallica. Like, let's say I wasn't opening for them.
Yeah.
I'd be in the crowd, banging my head so hard that it would hurt the next day when I'm home alone. Yeah. And I reached a point, I'll never forget, this was a game changer for me. So the crowd is done. I mean, I'm done with my set. And I'm not getting booed. I'm not getting the go fuck yourself, go home, die, get cancer. I'm not getting those tweets anymore. From night 2 on, it was like, oh, dude, I get it.
Yeah, it's fun.
So now there's this Korean guy, and he's acting out every song. I don't know what happened. I'm at the sound booth, and I went up to him, and it went from Moth into the Flame to Sad But True to like Master of Puppets, and the 2 of us got in each other's faces, and we acted out every song. And when we were done, we had a crowd around us, and it became a tradition. Every night, people called me out for every song. They looked, you gotta come out here with us. And I remember the 3rd leg, there was about 15 of us banging our heads so hard, way in the back, right? And all of a sudden the song was over, and it was this song, and I look up, and a pig comes flying by my head, and I look up, and it's Hetfield, and he's looking at me, shaking his head but laughing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then after the show, he's like, dude, you're in there with the fucking crowds. You're a nutball. You're a fucking nutball. I love it.
That's great. That's great, but it shows you, man, like with the fucking, with the cruise and with the fucking open for Metallica, by the second night, you were like a seasoned guy in a heist movie. You came in, you go, here's how it's going to go. The car's going to stay out front, and it stays running. Right. He goes, this is a 3-safe joint, all right? We got 90 seconds. When they hit that button, that's what you got, 90. You got to get in and out. To call it like that and then just to fucking solve it, they don't know how many years of comedy went into that.
Well, look, it's going to, because the thing is, the gig, comedically rewarding, is going to be what it's going to be.
Yes.
I didn't walk off of 60 shows I did with them. I've never walked off stage one time and goes, I got to write this down. I think I got to do it tonight. I'm going to have to jot that down. It's just, it was, especially I said with me when I went up there, no one knew I was. So they go, is the fucking drum tech grabbing the mic? Cut his mic off. And you're like, look at this dickhead. And fuck you.
What happens, Jay, is that whole crowd looks at, who is this guy? And then they look you up.
Yeah.
And then they see video, like, oh, dude, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what I started seeing was the Metallica crowd went, dude, he's a real Metallica guy.
Yeah.
Dude, he really is a Metallica guy. Wow, he's really... And some people started going, oh, why don't you do Material? I'm like, dude, I'm in the round. It's fucking 8. And by the 4th...
Well, you're going to talk fun, no matter what. That's the thing you have to rely on. That's the instinct that... Whatever I do, if I was talking at a funeral, I just say something funny because that's what you know all my thing is. Yeah.
And I started going in the crowd, doing the thing, and the coolest thing in the world became, this is the greatest, I can honestly say, it was the greatest gig I ever had in my entire life. Better than TV, better than film. It was the greatest gig, greatest experience I ever had in my life. I would do it. I said I would retire and do this the rest of my life, but guys like you, guys like Jay, only we can do this because we can appreciate, I can appreciate what life is. And these are moments when we were kids, like, God, if I got to meet ball players, God, if I got to hang out with the metal guys, God, if I could, and I'm the Forrest Gump of entertainment. I said from day one, hey, I want to work with Pesci. I want to work with De Niro. I want to do this. I want to be with Metallica. And I could sit there and go, holy shit, I did everything. It's not what I envisioned.
Yeah.
I thought I'd have $50 million and I'd be a blockbuster star. I'm like, you know what? Who's going to say I fucking toured with Metallica.
That's crazy.
Who's going to say, I worked with this guy? Who's going to say...
You got beaten with a fake bat by Joe Pesci.
Dude, it's the greatest...
It's the moments I said. It's the I call them the not. No one can. There's little marks in my life when you go. No one can take this away from me.
Nobody.
You just do a thing and you go. That's why I said I get bust my balls for bringing up how much I bring up being on tour with Korn. I'm like, it's a pretty huge moment in my life
for you.
But it's just for me, but also just in comedy. I went from like struggling. And by the way, when I came off of it, still struggling. It wasn't a financial gig. It was like they asked me if I would go on the tour doing comedy in front of Korn for 60 shows, and then Rob Zombie, and I did Slipknot and the Shiprock things. You're like, this is fucking crazy.
I mean, it really is. It's like
but it's
you're on the poster.
Too.
When we were on the poster, we both have that poster framed from Bonnaroo. Yeah. We did the comedy temp, but we're on a poster with fucking Billy Joel.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
It's fucking crazy. It's just shit like that, dude. Like being on the road in Buffalo, you know, and I'm like waiting to you do that pre-show nap, and I'm like waiting to take a nap before my 2 shows at Helium. I know they're undersold. I know it's going to be a fucking tough one. Mariah Carey's in town. I'm gonna fucking ass whooping. Ariana Grande was at the fucking the arena next door. I'm kind of a little beat up. I know who I am. I know where the fuck I'm at, and I'm just taking a sad nap where you're wearing a sweatshirt and your underwear, you know, and you're just in the sheets, and I'm watching the fucking tournament on CBS, March Madness, and a Billions preview came on, and I was like, that's fucking unreal.
That's nuts.
It's
that's
like,
right.
Yeah, you're just like, that's great. No one can take that away from me that I'm watching Wofford play a fucking Kentucky, and like all of a sudden it's like my dumb head like, buy, sell.
There's huge moments,
but, you know, but it's like, it's so cool to talk to, like, you know, even to fucking talk to you. Like I said, dude, I remember exactly where the fuck I was. Keith D'Agostino's house, staying up late to watch SNL, and the Joe Pesci show was like one of my favorite things on earth. It used to make me laugh so hard because that was like my fucking single alcoholic dad would let me watch Casino and Goodfellas, and I was like, at 9 years old, I'm like, I love Joe Pesci, and it's on SNL, and it's just crazy to be on a radio show. You know what I mean? It's like, it is... Man, in the age of social media with Instagram and shit, they got us comparing ourselves to other people that are fucking different people and live different lives, and you can lose appreciation real quick.
You
in
lose
this
appreciation
culture.
because the things that end. I don't know. It's why I've always discussed like my lack of like passion for like doing television stuff like that, because it's just out of your control so much.
Out of your control.
Well, when you start caring too much, it can fucking.
But the things you care about, you can't, and instead you forget. So exactly like when you're on SNL. Like getting that call that you're on, it's got to be like, you're like, well, life's different forever now. And then when it goes away, there's got to be some element of like, what the fuck now? You have to have some like belief in yourself that you can get through that. Because my instincts are always, if they go, I was on an ensemble cast on a show for 2 years on IFC when it got canceled. I'm like, it was me.
Yeah.
They're like, you weren't even that important on the show. I still believe it was me.
I mean, I fucking thought Lorne Michaels personally hated me when I auditioned and didn't get it. Like, he was like, I don't like Dan Soder.
Yeah, it's like nothing like that at all.
No, I don't like it. He's not funny.
But that's narcissism, because really what you were was number 7
of 16.
Of 16. That was like, that guy didn't get it.
He's like, good Sam Elliott. That's about it.
Yeah.
Decent.
First 10 years of my career, I chased what I call leather pants and kangaroo.
Okay.
I wanted Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Leather pants. I wanted a kangaroo, walk around the mall, completely out of control with a leather.
You had kangaroo dreams?
Yeah, I had kangaroo. I wanted kangaroo.
What about a Joey with it? Mitch and Joey.
The next 10 years was family survival.
Okay.
I changed gears, came to radio, worked with Lou. We created a show.
Yeah.
2008 on, it was, I'm just going to be passionate about my life and go back to stand-up and what got me here in the first place. And whatever happens, happens. As long as I'm making, as long as it happens. And I got to say,
the best sleep of your life?
I got to say, from 2008 on, has been the greatest years of my life.
Yeah, let go.
Ever.
You let go. And it's
ever. So
you
people
control,
say,
but you could control everything you do.
It's the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. Some people say, what was a great moment? Sing with Halford, and people like, their eyes would cross. What?
Yeah.
I was touring Metallica. I did this tour. I did that. I wrote Blood. It's been the greatest 10 years ever. And they'll look at me like, well, and I'm not on your journey.
Yeah.
I'm on my journey.
But you get somewhere where you're doing what you want to do only, and you don't have to. It's it. You get to have a passion for it, and things that people can't take from you. That's the biggest thing, man.
I mean, the best part is
that's
like,
why it's those moments.
I love doing. To me, it still blows me away. I get to go headline Helium in Buffalo. That I get to fly to Buffalo and do comedy.
Right on things like
that's like, to me, it's like, you guys want me to do 5 shows? It's fucking all right.
The complaints I said I used to have doing like I remember I've said it on the show before, I think too, when I was going to do Remember the 1880s, like Talking Head show on the History Channel. It was like one of the Talking Head shows.
I remember that.
And you just look at the material that you have to write jokes for, and you're like, this all blows. This is not that funny. It's not that funny of an idea. The whole thing kind of stinks. And then you're like, and I got to get up at like 6 in the morning to make sure I was living in Long Island at the time. I got to go there at 7. And my ex-wife said something to me, kind of like, all right, relax, dude. And I sort of had like you know what? If 21-year-old me heard that I could be on a PBS TV show tomorrow, that my face would be seen on the television, I'd be like, I'll wake up whatever time you need and not sleep for 4 days.
Dude,
to be on public access TV. I've traveled through the night to do like a local public access AM radio show at times.
Yeah, dude.
So like, who the fuck am I? But it just you comes what it becomes.
I mean, like, what I'm saying is, it is a tough time to not be sucked in by the social media and comparing yourselves to a guy you went to high school with that you could see his family, and you're just seeing him smile, and you're like, is this guy happier than me? But you don't know, because the
only thing you get locked into, especially doing comedy, if it takes a while to kind of pop.
Yeah.
And anyway, even if you're on the path, which is nice, is that starting to see the people, not the comparing yourself to the millionaires or the guy who became successful, but just the guy who's got like a house and a yard and a reasonable car. Because I didn't have those things.
Yeah.
Far beyond people having like forget the wealthy people. I was just like, I'm struggling to pay rent on a shithole versus, where my friend has like a Toyota Camry.
That son of a
like,
bitch.
That's a time when you remember, you're like,
that
fuck.
son of a bitch.
But but it is easy to lose sight of those things.
Well, to me, the most valuable thing is to your right.
Yeah. Computers, man. They're the wave of the future.
You can't be
Jim
computers.
Breuer. Oh, wait, not to my right? To your right. Yes, I'm on board with this.
But those balances in life, the ones that keep you in check, it's the most powerful things you can have in life.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
The most powerful things you can have.
I have a 16-year-old daughter. I got to make sure. Who knows what path she's going on?
I got a 91-year-old grandmother that I'm guaranteed she doesn't know what I do.
Yeah, and she's going to be a whore.
She has no clue what I do.
She has a camel hoof jeans.
I just show up and she's like, are you Gary? You're Dan? Who are you?
Gary?
Are you? Oh, you're not your father? All right, well, get inside. It's getting fucking...
I know we got a rap pretty soon.
Well, what we have to...
Yeah. Kiss.
Dan, this is fun.
Can we just take a major commercial break? Like, can we keep going and then just take like... Yeah, Jacob, I'm looking.
You guys
at
are so funny. This is what we used to do. We were like,
can we not
sorry, we didn't break.
Yeah. I mean,
Lou, if this convinces you at all, I'll tell you what a lot of people don't realize about working in radio is that it's hungry work.
Yes.
I mean it. Cooking can seem like a chore, but that's where HelloFresh comes in.
Yes.
They take the guesswork out of cooking by offering a wide-ranging menu with classics that we know and love, like Dan's great-grandmother's gorgeous greens farro ball.
It's a recipe as old as time.
Or the flu cure that everyone knows in the Soder household, Chipotle spice steak.
Yes.
It's a recipe you might not be as familiar with, courtesy of their gourmet menu. Get fresh and affordable, high-quality ingredients delivered right to your doorstep, pre-measured, so all you have to do is follow the recipe. It couldn't be easier, and that's what makes HelloFresh America's #1 meal kit for a total of $60 off. That's $20 off your first 3 boxes. I can't believe they're making me do the math for you.
Yeah.
That's $60 off, $20 times 3. Get your head out of your ass.
Come on.
You can get that if you go to HelloFresh.com/bonfire. HelloFresh.com/bonfire. Boom.
Yes.
Now we have 5 free minutes.
Now we can fucking keep going. Now that, we just open it up.
We just open up 5 minutes of the show.
Dude, you do a little bit of homework on Friday night. You get your whole weekend. Get your whole fucking weekend.
How old are your kids, Jim?
20, 17, 14.
All right.
That's a weird mix.
Are you...
That's a lot of different roughs.
3 years apart.
3 years apart each one. Now you're, I would say, 4 years away from being home, just you and the wife.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to that?
So looking forward to that.
Do you have it marked on your calendar?
This is what I want to do. I want to be able to... I make good money.
Okay.
I want to... By the time my youngest one is out, I'm 51. by the time I'm 60, I want to never have to work. I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Because you want to, though.
But I want to. And I want to rent out, like, hey, man, I'm going to live in Amsterdam for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And do shows at the, I don't even care making money, at the local yoga. Then I'm going to live in Arizona.
Yeah, get
for
weird.
a month on Airbnb.
Get leathery.
And I'm going to host every night at the blah, blah, blah. Then I'm going to, I can't wait to go. I'm going to fucking Australia for a month.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm going to tour down there, and I don't even give a shit if I make money.
Are you going to Lori Loughlin your kids and just pay to get them in school? Just pay, make sure you're fucking...
No, if anything, I'm the anti-school person.
Yeah, you're like, go fucking live a life.
Fuck that.
You know what's funny? I am hitting that crossroad. My daughter's 16, like I said, and her mom's an academic and certainly wants her, like almost it's a no-brainer, she's going to go to college. But I've been pretty vocal about saying, I can afford to pay for her to go to college, but if I'm paying for you to go to college, like it's got to be like you have to have come to tell me what's your passion that this college is involving. Because if you go, I'm just going to take liberal arts and figure it out. I go, not on my dime, you're not.
Not on my dime.
But if you want to be a nurse, if you go, I want to be a nurse, I'll put you on that track completely. But if you go, because she goes, she's the thing now. She says she wants to be a writer, which I'm not discouraging at all.
Why do you have to go to school for that?
Exactly. I'd go, but she can, but if that's the route she wants to take. But I'd almost say, before you just jump in and figure that out, like go do some writing.
Yeah.
Take a year and go figure out something else.
You don't have to learn to write.
She goes, if I take a gap year, I probably will never go back to college. I go, well, it's your problem.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, I go, that's whatever you do. I don't know.
But that shows you a lack of motivation to begin with. If you're not going to be
that's my point. I'm like, if you want to be a doctor, let's get you through the situation to become a doctor. But if you go, I don't know, I'm thinking writer or marine biologist. I'm like, then you don't know yet, so don't waste anyone's time.
That ain't worth $30,000 a year to figure shit out.
Dude, my mom did this thing where she just sat me down.
Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh, incessantly.
Oh, absolutely. My mom,
it's too late.
Yeah. Oh, we could have really peppered up some of those stories. We could have seasoned a lot of that earlier. My mom, I remember like sitting down, and she's just like an overworked single mom, and I remember her, she was like, you're going to college and you're paying for it. And I was like, what's up? And it was just kind of like a thing where she's like, I'll help you figure out the loans and shit, but she's like, the one thing I want as a single mom is that I fucking put you through school and you got a degree, which at the time seemed like a rational, and now I talk to my mom and she's like, I mean, I'm glad you did it. She's like, but you're in debt. Like, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that's what happens.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's the new world.
Crazy
my
debt.
ex-wife,
School's a con.
My ex-wife's a lawyer.
Yeah.
But she's a lawyer. Like, she wanted to be a hands-on mom, so she never did like the 80 hours become a partner type law. She's essentially sort of does the responsibilities of more of like a paralegal. But she is a lawyer, and she has NYU and law school debt on not making any money. So unless I'm able to save the day one day and pay those down, that's on her forever. And I don't know why she would want to put that towards our daughter.
That's the new buying a car.
You're going to put yourself into a fucking like lock in like that. Yeah, I can't believe I'm so drawn to that. I just leased a car recently, and when I went in there, I can't believe I walked in the door with the idea of buying again, which has fucked me so much in the past. And they go, you might want to look into a lease, and I go, can't even next way. I've never even thought of that. Like,
this is the first time I bought a car.
Really? Yeah, you've always
forever. I always leased,
which makes
because
sense.
I'm like, all right, it costs this much a month, and then when I'm done, take it back.
I moved
exactly.
I moved to New York to be like, I want rental cars to drive off bridges. I don't want to own anything. I want to be off the grid. I'm going to live completely off the grid.
It's going off the grid. That's your retirement plan.
Only cash. If you'll notice my fingers, they're burnt.
Collect cash.
My fingerprints are all burnt off. I'm Kevin Spacey in Seven. I went nuts.
How do you get nudging when the last kid's 18? How do you start nudging them out the door? You're like, hey, go live life, kiddo. Get out.
Well,
there.
if they're not out, me and my wife are just out.
Just middle of the night.
You're going to stepbrothers them. You're just
like, we're out of here. I don't know what you're doing here, but we're gone for the next 7 weeks.
Fucking week, dude.
So I don't know what you're doing, but
Jim,
my 14-year-old's already working.
Really?
My 16-year-old's working. My 17-year working. The oldest one doesn't work. She just started working. They don't have cars. She don't have cars. I'm like, I'm not buying you cars.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love
buying you cars. Buying your own shit. What if I'm dead No, I'm not buying you cars.
I'll tell you what, you're going to make good people that way. You make good people.
You got to survive.
Yes.
What if I'm dead next year?
Survival
I know I'm not dead. I didn't teach you anything. Go get your own shit.
The softest people I know on this earth were given everything.
People come at me.
Yes.
I choke my daughter out 3 times a week, and I say, "This is what the world will do to you sometimes." And the world comes at me for it.
But when water is currency and Isabella is queen, I think we're going to have a different outlook on
And
it.
then what?
Dude, Jim, I can't thank you so much for coming on the
thank you
fucking
guys. This
show.
was so much fun.
Brand new special coming out April 5th. It's live from Portland. It's able to buy or stream albums. Go wherever you're able to do it. Go do it. OfficialJimBreuer.com. Big J, you know I love you. What another great week of show.
DanSoder.com, BigJComedy.com.
Huntsville, Alabama, this Thursday through Saturday. Go see Big J at Stand Up Live. And then, of course, Cleveland. He's coming April 18th through the 20th
show.
at Hilarities, BigJComedy.com.
You got Wise Guys, the Bell House. It's going to be a wild time, everybody.
It's all coming. We love you guys at the Bonfire SXM. Jay, have fun at KISS.
Catch you on Monday, y'all.
And Jim, good luck. Good luck at the gig.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh my God. I had the T-shirt cannons. They're not working, so I'd run out. And I'm like, "Are you ready?" And it'd go click, click, and they'd all start booing. Boo. And it's not 5 people; it's sections. Boo. So
Just 114 now.
You turn it.
So at one point, the funniest part was I had the DJ on stage, and he's wearing glasses, and he can't see what the fuck he's doing. He calls me over on stage. People booing. They're telling me, "Get the fuck off the stage." And I went, "Oh my!" And Metallica's management's there. Everyone's there. Everybody's there watching.
The big start.
For some reason, Cliff Burton's family's all there.
Everyone's
they're all there. And they're
there.
super disappointed at everything.
Cliff's spirit is watching.
He's like Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he has the
Disaster.
Jedi's beside.
He's just on the